Sammy J here, and today I ran 100 meters at 75%, a little tempo action. This is all possible because I've been logging my training very consistently over the last 4 weeks, and I found that I'm able to handle a little bit more volume now. And since I haven't been doing a lot of upright sprinting, I have a lot of opportunity to improve. This workout, I focus on improving my hip posture, where I try to keep my hips under my body and not tilt back anteriorly. But I didn't consider my pacing at all, and that's what really threw me off in this workout. Because it can be confusing to just hear me talk about it, we're going to use the Aperto system to visualize how I was performing at the end of each 100 meters.
You can get your videos processed at apertotech.io.
And by looking at my process videos, we'll understand the new things that I can work on from a session planning and technique perspective. So let's get into it. The first thing I did wrong with rep 1 was that I took it out kind of fast, where my top speed was 7.6 meters per second. In regards to my hip posture, it looks really good. This is the best it's ever looked, and if it's figured out to some degree, then it's time to think about other things to improve. Going back to taking out this first rep too fast, I did this partly because I was expecting the workout to be pretty boring because I'm not running at my absolute max. And if I'm not running at my absolute max, I found that I have to use my brain a lot more to stay focused and in control of my body. So since I'm still fresh in the workout, we'll see how fast the novelty wears off. And the novelty has worn off by rep 2, where I hit 6.94 meters per second. But I'm still trying to like it. I'm trying to enjoy myself. And in order to do this, I've settled into a pace that is not as fast, but it'll let us hold on to a speed where we can hit our goals for the day, which is hold on to the technique throughout the course of the workout. With that being said, it's still really hard to focus on just one thing because I see that I'm starting to cast my right leg out. Because if this habit continues to transfer when I'm running at my absolute max, it puts me at risk for a hamstring tear. As we go one more rep into the future, with 2 reps of fatigue in the bag, we'll see how things look now. And it's about the same, 6.95 meters per second. I paced this one better, and it looks like my technique has settled into a groove. And I found that once you're in this groove and you can assume everything's going well, what happens is your brain just opens up for more questions like, how hard do I need to be breathing on this workout? How much rest should I be getting? But those are all things that we'll figure out later. Rep 4, I missed on the video. It must have gone well because I didn't slow down too much more on rep 5, where I went 6.89 meters per second. And by rep 6, within that groove, I found a little bit more energy, where I went faster at 7.09 meters per second, then faster still on rep 7, 7.16 meters per second, and then faster again on the last one, 7.2 meters per second. And maybe because I was faster in the last few, I could have been faster overall for the entire session, or taken less rest between them to make it more of a workout. And if this guy had been there the entire time, he could have pushed me to hold the better pace and form the entire workout too. Overall, I was happy with how my hips looked since that was the main focus, but as I got that dialed in, I started to realize that I'm casting my foot forward and I have more things to work on. I want to set myself up with as good of a foundation technique-wise for the future. And as I continue to think about technique in these cues, I also have new goals with planning how I give effort during the sessions. It's like once I have these unknowns figured out, I can define more concrete objectives that I can achieve within training. With my future training in mind, consider subscribing because we're going to be ramping up my training a bit more over the next few weeks. Pretty soon we'll know what I can casually do in a 60 meter, which is great since I'll get to share all the mistakes I'm making there and my thought process as I go through those sessions.